In Affinity 3, you can create some amazing patterns super quick, super easily, using various resources that are supplied with Affinity 3. This is for PC or Mac. I'm going to use this, a pass brush. Now, pass brush requires you quickly to go to Vector. So there's Vector. And with that, just go down to the pass brush and you can find it down here. I'm going to use pass brushes. Pass brushes are really great. You've got a whole range of image brushes. You can find that in Window and just down here to Vector and Pass Brushes. So once you've got that, just go over here and select the pen tool. Click the pen tool and click it again like that, and it will generate a very basic line. Now this is huge. Obviously you can go here to the context toolbar and you can see there's a size. So I can reduce that down a bit. And with that, I can then apply one of these. I can just go here and click, say, Fuse. That's in the image brushes. You can find loads and loads of different designs. You can also create your own pass brushes. Super quick, super easy. I've done a video on that already. Let's just change the color. So just click here. You can change the stroke color. Just click here and set it back to the actual design itself. You can see over there. Now, what you can also do is you can go here and you can set it to 100. But you can actually extend it, put it to 300 instead. So with 300, you get something like that. Now, at some point, it will not look great. It's just a basic pixel image, but I think that's reasonable now. Well, what you can now do is just go over here and rectangular marquee tool, select that, and then just drag over this area or any part of it. However, at the moment, you'll notice if you go over here into layers, it's a line. That's not so useful. Line cannot be turned into a pattern. What you need to do is right click and I would suggest duplicate. So you can just keep that line there in the background and you can then just go here and you can make it not visible anymore. But what you can also do with this one, which is the duplicate, you can right click and then you can rasterize it. So let's just rasterize it. Now the pattern is defined using this selection and this pixel layer. So you get this design. So let's just go to pixel and then down to new pattern layer from selection. And what you can do with this, you get this. Now at this point, you think, oh, but it's got these edges. You can get around that very quick. You might not be concerned with this, perfectly reasonable. It's still a pattern. It's just repeating over and over again. And what you can do is you can go down here and the best thing to do is select the move tool. You need to select the move tool because you get the option for this mirror. So select here. This is the context toolbar. If you can't see that, go to view and context toolbar and show. Now you've got your pattern and you can resize this and you've got a beautiful, colorful design, super quick, super easy from that image brush or pass brush I've just selected. Also, what you can do is you can apply effects to it, so you can modify it a bit as well. Just simply go here, pixel, and go to filters, and you've got all these various filters to apply. So you could go here, maybe use glitch. Let's just go for that one. That's one of the latest ones that comes with Affinity 3, so glitch. And now you can then just change the glitch strength, and you can see as you do that, you get this sort of effect, super quick, and you can also just move it around. Here's the actual pattern, the edge of the pattern. So you just move it there, you just move it around, and you can see it modifies it. And also there are many others. So shred is another one. You can change the horizontal strength there. You can see as you do that, get that effect, get that, pixel spacing, whole range of different designs can be very quickly generated using this approach. And once you're happy with your design, click apply. You may prefer just to not touch the pattern layer. What you can do is let's just undo that now. You can apply live effects which are on top of this pattern layer. So make sense, deselect it. So it's deselected and then go to pixel and then down to new live filter layer and distort. And again, you could use glitch. You could use all the ones available here. So glitch and now live glitch. You can again modify this, but it means that the actual glitch is modifiable at any point later. It's live. So let's just go to again shred and change horizontal strength, vertical strength, and pixel spacing. So you could just modify this and maybe use blend mode, so you can run through and create a variety, maybe like that one. Screen is always a lovely, interesting effect. And close that. And you can see now you've got your pattern design. Also, what you can do, you can go here to the pattern and you can move it around. So you can simply select it, just go here to the layer, make certain it's selected, move it around, and you can also rotate it. So as you rotate it, you can see you get literally millions of different designs. And again, you can reduce this down and create some interesting weaving designs, quite easy. And also maybe stretch it like that, hold down the shift, and so on, squeeze it like that to create sort of thin line designs. A whole load of different patterns can be created that way. Let's just undo. And because another thing you can do, you've still got the underlying line here. So you can always go here. Let's just remove this one now. I don't want that. I can keep it still there. I can bring it back in a little while. But I can get rid of that pattern. And I can also get rid of that design there and just bring this back. So I can go and select a different one. That's the great thing about having it live. Also, you can also modify this. You can always go over here and go to the node tool. Just got here, node here, and you can move this around, resize it, squeeze it like that. You can also hover over the center there and just drag it. So you can just drag and distort it to create different designs that way. Or go to some of the other ones. Let's go for moss rocks and alien. Unfortunately, when you do this, or plasma, is that it resizes it again. So if you want, simply just go here, set the size again. Let's push it to not 100. You push it to 300, 400. Let's go for 400. And you can see you get a design like that. Now you can start seeing when you push it to 400, possibly doesn't look as good. I think 200. Unfortunately, you've got 120. That really gives you a sort of limit, but you can push it to a certain amount, I think, before it starts to distort pretty badly. And again, you can go over here and rectangle marquee tool and make certain, of course, you duplicate this again. Unless, of course, you don't mind freezing it, rasterizing it, perfectly reasonable, but you can duplicate it, right click, duplicate, and then use this one to rasterize. So you can always go back to it later, so rasterize. And if you don't want to see the background one, you've got it there. So you can create lots of layers. You don't have to have them active. And then you've got this here for the selection again. So let's just go here, selection, maybe go for a selection, say this part of the image or another part of the image. You can create some lovely sort of, you can see lovely, beautiful curved design there and nice colors there as well. And again, simply go to pixel and then just down here to new pattern. You can easily use that one. That only creates a fresh pattern layer. 32 by 32, you can set it to 200 by 200 and then you can add to it. But this one takes this, what you've currently got selected. So pattern layer from selection and you get this. Again, go up to the move tool if you want to set the mirror. So just here you've got the mirror again, context toolbar, it says pattern. You've got other options here, but mirror there. And you can see you've got other ones, develop, liquefy. You can modify it in countless ways. And again, you can resize. You can see this design here. Also, you don't need to just have just this. What you can do, just go up here and I'm going to go with not normal. I'm just going to go with screen. And then you can see you get this. Now I can actually deselect that one. Let's just deselect that one. So you've just got screen there for this. The reason being, got the move tool selected here, press return or enter on the keyboard, and this panel will pop up. With this panel, you can then set the duplicate and you can see straight away there's just an instant effect there. And you can modify a number of copies. And I'm going to go with, say, 3. And also what you can do is you can do rotation as well as scaling. So you might want to scale it. I think it's quite nice scaling that way or scaling that way. You can just try out different. And the great thing about this, it's interactive. So you can modify, move around, do various things. It's just so much easier, I think, than just individually creating a duplicate and so on. But I think this move duplicate is really great for that. It's not live. It creates lots of layers that you may perhaps not eventually need. You can always simply create them, and you can always just delete them. So you might think, you know what, that works better as a design. I think personally, just one or two. I think beyond that it starts to become really too bright, and you really can't make much out. And you can see you get a lovely pattern design like that. Now these patterns you can select. With those selected, you can always right click and you can merge selected. Now sometimes merge selected ends up going wrong. I wouldn't say it's always perfect, but you end up with a design that let's just see. Now it's put it as a pixel layer. Doesn't actually keep it, in this case, as a pattern, which is odd, but still, let's just undo. I want it to be still patterns. Okay, I certainly did that in earlier versions, but now it seems to turn it into just a pixel layer. Right. Again, you've still got this glitch effect. You can just go up here and you can bring this back in. And you can see now that also has screens. So maybe we're just pushing the screen a bit too much. So let's just double click. Always double click. Sometimes click seems to be okay. Sometimes double click. You can change that and again put it back to, say, normal there, or multiply or something else. So you don't have to go with that one, maybe color burn, etc. So you can see, again, you can create thousands of different designs. You might decide preferably this design, just go back to aberration, or there's a number of other ones as well. There's a whole load that you can check out, like channel flip, really good as well. Okay, and then close. That line, that curve that you had right at the start, you can modify in countless other ways. So let's just now go back to this one. I'm going to remove these now. Let's just go all the way back. So delete all those and just bring this one back in so you can see it. So you've got this design. Well, this design, this curve, it can be modified itself with effects. So you've got this design. Let's just distort it. So gain, pixel, go to filters and distort and deform. Just going to use that one. That will turn it into a pixel layer. So now you can't go back again. You could duplicate. It's always a good thing, duplicate. And then you've always got that actual vector design. As soon as you apply effect to it, it becomes obviously a pixel layer. And then you can add some pins. So with these pins, just simply click and then drag. And you can then distort this design countless ways. Then you can push it too far and just click there, distort that. You can see you can create some very abstract designs. One good thing to do, maybe position them quite close. You can actually distort it like that. So you can get some very unusual shapes in that central bit from that design. So something like that. Click apply. You can always apply the filter again. So pixel, filters and repeat. So filters, repeat, deform, apply it like that. And you can see you can build up a whole range of different weird and wonderful designs, which are great for using as patterns. So again, go here, this one, rectangular marquee tool, just select that and just go for this area, I think, which is one of the more interesting areas in there, and just select that. And again, you've got it selected there, go to pixel and down to new pattern layer from selection. And then you've got this design, and again, move tool, just select that. You can then reposition, move around. You've got the seam, you might not want that. So let's just go for mirror. And you've got this sort of design. And you can see that you can push too far, that you stretch it really far. It isn't going to look as good. You can start to see the imperfections in that. Now, what you can also do, of course, you can apply maybe some blur effects, smear things, etc. Maybe if you want to modify that. There's a whole load of other things you can do with this. Again, combine them, maybe create multiple patterns, blend them together to create some truly unique designs just by using that path brush effect. What you can also do, though, is with these things, is you can use some other resources within the application as well. Say mesh. Mesh is really good for creating some interesting patterns. So let's just delete that and delete that. Don't need that anymore. You can also use other resources as well. A new feature in Affinity 3 is the mesh. The mesh is great. Just simply go over here, rectangle tool, and click and drag. You'll probably end up with a solid color like this. You can change it. Just go here, Click here and you've got gradients, etc. You can just modify it and use a gradient. Really good for pattern designs as well. But what you can also do, just go here, fill tool. With the fill tool, again with this context, you've got fill there, just go there and then go with mesh. And with mesh, you get this lovely row of 3 by 3 and you can just change them. So just go here, select that one. And I would suggest then having the swatches available. So window, go down to general and swatches, there it is. Always trying to find it. And you can then select a number of different colors here, maybe green. You can see then you get that, maybe select another one, blue, and select this one, go for pink, maybe go for grey or whatever. A whole range of different color options here. Of course, you can select those and then make those red and select those and maybe make those purple and so on. So you can build up quite a colourful design using that. But also another thing that's really useful, you can manipulate the actual shape, the design, again, apply effects to it. So you can use this with, say, pixel, filters, etc., and apply a variety of different effects. But also, you can always go to Vector Studio. So Vector Studio, click here. In Vector Studio, you've got lots of options here. You've got this one, the fill tool, but you've also got transparency tool. Which is really nice. I think that's really useful tool for just clicking on that shape and you can see you can drag this around and create a variety of different designs like that just by simply clicking and dragging. And this is with the basic transparency. Transparency tool can be used, of course, with other layers as well, but I think it's really great with sort of a basic shape like this. Now, once you've got this, this has got transparency. So you can see here, this is looking through to this background. If I had something in the background, you would see the background. Here, you won't see the background. That's covered over by those colours. Well, what you can now do, you've got this design, you can always hold down the Alt Option key and just drag and drag and drag like that. Or you could also use, of course, the Move Tool feature, Move Duplicate if you want. But I think it's just great just to create something like that. Very basic design, but I love this sort of, you've got these lovely gaps there. Gives a sort of bit of depth as you go from there to there to there to there. Well, once you've got that, you can go here. You've got all these designs. Select all of those. Right click, and then you can group, and then you can rasterize. So right click again, and then rasterize. And you've got this lovely design here, which again, you can go here, do exactly the same as before. So let's just go back to Pixel and use rectangle marquee tool, and now select this sort of design. Let's just drag over here. I think that's going to be the nicest part of that design. Something like that. With that, I can now, again, simply just go to Pixel and just down here to New Pattern Layer from Selection. And then you get this sort of design. Let's just deselect the other one, make so you can't see it. And you can see you get this lovely line effect or a plaid, I don't know, you'd sort of say, sort of that sort of design. And you can see this sort of design. Maybe tartan designs, all kinds of different designs can be created using this approach. Now, what you can also do, of course, is with this design, you can duplicate this as well. And duplicate like that. And you can see then you get this, because of the transparency, you can actually see through it as well, which is nice. And you can then reposition it. And again, you can always rotate it. You can see you get this lovely sort of effect here. And also the crossing, etc., crisscross design. And of course, you can resize this. You don't have to go the same. You can cross over like that. Whole variety of different designs. Maybe use it at different angles. Again, let's just access the rotation there. You can see you get something like that. Just position it about there. So that's halfway there. Again, it's looking through the original shape. And of course, you could repeat this, maybe create additional layers. So all kinds of pattern designs can be created from a number of very quick, easy resources within Affinity. And of course, I haven't even touched on things like brushes. So you could use, of course, the shapes to create literally infinite amount of pattern designs. And these pattern layers can be, again, all of them can be saved to things. So let's just select those, select 2 of them, right click and group. And then you can simply go to Window and down to General and Assets. If you want to save your pattern design, you've got a pattern design you like, I have got down here a category for it, pattern layers. something like that. Simply go to the right side and add from selection, and then it's stored away over here. You can see now I can simply drag this pattern layer and use it multiple times if I want. And again, if I go back to the layers, you can see now I've got multiple, and again I can then go through the blend modes, maybe go something like that, which I think looks really nice. Light, oh, that one looks nice as well. Lighter color, or maybe go with overlay. Trouble is, with all these designs, with all these possible patterns, literally infinite amount of pattern designs can be created, all great for, well, what would you use this for? Maybe some curtains, wallpaper. I'd love wallpaper like this. If someone could print some wallpaper like this, t-shirts, designs, whole range of possible designs can be created using this. And of course you can print this out, super easy, simply go to File and Print and just save the design to your printer. Hope you found this tutorial of interest. Any thoughts, questions, please let me know in the comments below. Bye.